What's the deal, y'all? Oh, love me a good cold thing of water. What's good, you guys? It's be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 Reunion Part 3. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys have had a wonderful, wonderful Sunday, and I intend on doing the exact same thing, you guys. What's going on? Okay, because tonight we're concluding this season officially of the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16. And I also have an announcement at the very end of the video. So make sure you guys stay to the very end. And I do mean stay to the very end. We got some news to reveal to the people at the very end of this live. So I need for everybody to be right there with me. Y'all need to watch this all the way to the end, okay? Because I told y'all we got some news at the end. And it's all about me. Okay, so anyway, y'all, we're at the end, and you know, tomorrow is the end of this season of the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We're going to take a hiatus until Potomac comes back and all that good jazz. You feel what I'm saying? And we will be over on Busy's channel on tomorrow and all that. So, you know, we got a lot going on and a lot to do, a lot to conclude, you know, things like that. So make sure you guys are tuning in to that. I really do appreciate it. You know, y'all know why I get everything started at the 5-minute mark. Y'all know that. Tomorrow, though, we do got, like I've been promising y'all, we do got some Real Housewives of Atlanta tea. I got some to give y'all. And I got some to give y'all. And I got some Bell Collective tea too. Got something to give y'all about that as well. We got some Bell Collective tea. We got some Housewives of Atlanta tea. We're going to talk about some Basketball Wives stuff. We're going to do all that stuff on tomorrow's live. I'm going to make my my thumbnail and everything for this live tomorrow. We're going to have us a great time. We're going to go live before the panel and all of that good stuff. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Like I told y'all. And I see somebody in the comments that said my tea was legit. They are filming next week. Thank you for letting it be known that my tea was legit, honey. And baby, I told y'all my source is not wrong. Like everything I told y'all has been true. So, but that's more of what we're going to talk about on tomorrow when I do my live. Okay, that's a lot more of what we're going to talk about. Let me see, y'all. I like to watch it on Peacock too because they show more than we see on that when it's on the network. So that's why I like to watch it on Peacock too. But you know, but because I like to do my reviews right after the show, I just watch it on there. Watch it while it's on. Let me see. Now, let me start off by saying this before we start. I watched Shamia's video today on her YouTube, her Dear Sweet 16 video, and you know, it was cool and all that, but y'all know I'm not gonna lie. At the very end, Shamia gave this dramatic ass look away like she was in a Tamia Officially Missing You video. I ain't even gonna lie. I was so fucking tickled when I saw that. Like she was like, I was like, it's official. Bitch, I was tickled. I'm telling y'all, when she did that dramatic pause at the end, it felt like I was watching the video. It's official. Oh, you know that I'm missing you. Yeah, yes. All I hear is raindrops. Oh, yeah. And I'm officially missing you. That's what I was saying. But that's it. That's all I got on that part. So let's go ahead and get into this review, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. So anyway, let's start it off with y'all know my notes is right here. So Shamia and Porsha, they go back and forth about the mamas. And I can honestly say this, y'all, like for real, no matter who's right, who's wrong, I feel like the conversation about the mother's friendship falling apart and all the other shit, that should have never been addressed. It should have never been brought up. Porsha should have never said nothing about it on social media and all that, because from what I heard, it really ain't just about no damn daycare center being bought. It's more to the story, and that's why they don't want to go into it. I'm just telling y'all. From what I heard, it's way more that's being said about that mother friendship falling apart than a damn daycare. It's way more out there that's being said. I'm just telling y'all the tea. Okay. I'm just telling y'all. Okay. However, I'm glad that they stopped. Let me put my phone on do not disturb because I know it's going to be blowing up now. But yeah, I can tell y'all right now that was a whole lot. Like I really did not want them to go into that. And like I said before, I'm friends. Me and this guy, we call him Woogie. Our mothers were friends when we were growing up. And when our mother stopped being friends, we didn't stop being friends. As a matter of fact, it made us closer when they stopped being friends. And one thing we always did was never allow the drama with our mothers to ever get between us. And that's why I enjoy the friendship that we got. Me and me and his brother. We still consider each other brothers. We were raised that way, and regardless of our mothers falling out, we never fell out. So I feel like that a lot of the stuff that's going on with Shamia and Porsha, the resentment also plays a part because of their mothers no longer being friends. And I think that their mothers have said things about the other girl, like Shamia's mama don't fuck with Diane. So she probably told, Shamia to watch Porsha. We saw Diane say the shit about Shamia on screen. And I kind of believe the mothers play a part in their friendship breaking apart too. Despite the fact that they've been having issues over the years and stuff, and then they'll get back together and be cool again and all this other shit. I think that the mothers play a part in it too. But they are grown as women, so it doesn't matter if their mothers get along or not. It shouldn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, it don't really matter at the end of the day. It's just like whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I think about it. So we're gonna continue. Let's continue on pushing. So then Shamia says that she will own talking about her friendship problems with the ladies. Now, even though she says that she is going to own talking about her friendship issues with the other women in the group, she still really didn't own it, because she still tried to flip it and reverse it like she Missy Elliott to some damn baddie, and tried to make it seem like, oh, well, that's not the way I said it. They said that they feel like it's a lopsided friendship, and then I started talking about the friendship issues that we had in the past and all this other shit. And it's like, no, it doesn't matter if they brought it up or not. If they feel like it's a lopsided friendship, that's their feeling. They can feel however they want, Shamia. But it's up to you to not engage in that bullshit. If that's your friend, you can either shut down the conversation. It's really nothing else to be done. I'm sitting up here trying to give you a list of things that you could do, but that's the only thing you should do. Nobody should ever feel freely or feel bold enough to speak on your relationship with your friend. No one should ever feel comfortable doing that. Not one soul should ever feel like they can say that in front of you. You feel what I'm saying? No matter how they feel. And if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. But you don't have to engage with that shit. And the issue is that you engaged in that conversation. Once again, your feelings and your gripes towards Porsha, totally valid. But at the end of the day, own up to the fact that there's still resentment, there's still residual feelings that you never really, cope with, and that you never addressed, and keep it moving. Stop trying to play the victim and stop trying to be innocent, because you're not. You were running your goddamn mouth and you got caught up in it. And that's just the truth of the matter, Shamia. Once again, do I think that Porsha is a foul, fucked up ass friend? Yeah. But you ain't short stopping by talking about your friend to motherfuckers you don't know. Because they ain't got no loyalty to you. They're trying to secure their spot What the fuck make you think you could have talked to them? Now, if it was Cynthia you were talking to, I could understand it because you have a friendship with her. But these other girls you just met, them girls don't know you. Do you think they give a fuck about you and Shamia's relationship like that? You know what? It takes me back to Nene and Cynthia, right? When they first had their first friendship breakup, right? And, you know, Nene was like, I'm not going to sit here and discuss my relationship with Cynthia in front of a bunch of people who could give a shit about our friendship. So back when she was saying that, I just thought that Nene was just being a bitch. That's what I thought that she was being at that time. But now that I think about it, and now that I'm looking at this shit, and now that I'm more mature, I understand what Nene is saying. Why would I want to discuss my friendship with people or in front of people that could really care less if we make things right or if we fix it or not? Why would I want to have that conversation with them? They trying to secure their spot. They don't give a fuck. They could give a fuck about Shamia and Porsha being friends. They will use that for their own advantage so they can excel further in this show. They don't care about your friendship with with Porsha. So Shamia, why would you ever feel like you could have talked to them about that? The fact is, if you feel any kind of way about anything, you go to your friend with that situation. Now, if you need a second opinion, that is absolutely fine. That's fine if you need a second opinion. But if you're going to get a second opinion from somebody, get it from somebody who really gives a fuck about you and your friendship. Because these motherfuckers don't care about your friendship. They don't. And when you realize that, the motherfucking better, okay? They could care less about their friendship, girl. They don't give a fuck about y'all. The fuck? The fuck about y'all? So it is what it is. Do you think Nene said that as an alliance? Was that cold language for warn me first? Maybe so. But I just feel like Shamia made the wrong move to confide in people like Angela or, you know, people like Drew, like people she really don't know like that. You know, like she got every right to speak on her gripes, yes, but speak on it with people who care. Angela don't care. Kelly don't care. And Britt don't care either. Them girls don't care, so you shouldn't even be talking to them about a damn thing, okay? Let me see. Porsha says that she always wanted Shamia to have a peach. But from what I was told, she never wanted Shamia to have a peach. She never wanted her on the show. She wanted her to be a friend of the show. And there are some people that really feel like this is Porsha's show. And because this is Porsha's show, that means that Shamia shouldn't be here. Porsha is not Bravo. Porsha is not Andy Cohen. Just because your friend is on the show, that don't mean that you can't be on the show. Just saying. Porsha don't run the Housewives. Why Shamia can't be on the show? Because Porsha's here? Please. I really do believe that Porsha didn't want her on this show. I believe that because Porsha gives off real, real jealous, real shady. That's what she gives me. I'm sorry, but she does. And I feel like Porsha wants all the attention to be on her. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see. Anyone you meet over the age of 28 doesn't care. So do you meet new people in life and be on guard, or do you meet people and be grown and express yourself? I'm going to be honest with you. I am not quick to divulge personal stuff to people when I meet them. Like, you can meet people and express yourself, but it's like it's certain things that I wouldn't express myself to people that I just met. Like, I have to feel a person out before I could really, really express myself, my personal stuff. Like, for example, I remember being friends, being friends with my friends Carl and Tramiel. Like I remember within the first year of me being friends with them and hanging out with them, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't divulging any personal information to them. But look at us now. I'm divulging personal information to them because I trust them now. For me, I have to build some trust with these people in order for me to feel comfortable enough to express myself about my friendship with Porsha. You know what I mean? So, and I feel like she should have really just thought about it a little bit more before she decided to talk to them, because it really bit her in the ass after she spoke to them about it. Because Angela was the first one to talk about it. Britt talked about it, like put her out there to dry. So it is what it is. Let me see. I guess I am a bad friend. I would never want to do a reality show with my best friend, whether she was on it first or I was. The public's opinion can get in folks' head. It can get in your head all day, but if the friendship is solid and sustainable, then being on a reality show really don't matter. Honestly. Andy said Porsha wanted Shamia to be on the show and have a peach. I still don't believe it though. Sorry. I still don't believe she wanted it. Let me see where we at. Porsha says that they both kissed Candy. But when y'all talked about when Candy first put you on blast for kissing her in the club, you acted like it never happened and tried to blame it on the alcohol. But okay. Kelly says that she wants Shamia to have her moment and really say how she really feels. And Porsha says that this isn't about a moment. And I want to tell y'all, there was a tweet that I retweeted earlier today, right? While the show was on. There was a tweet that I retweeted, and I want to read this tweet to y'all. Let me see. Let me see. And some of y'all may not believe me or may not want to listen to me, but this is what the tweet said, and I really believe it. Pay attention to how Porsha always shuts Shamia down. She talks over her and says this isn't the moment. The deep side is dismissive and disrespectful. Some of you are overlooking it because it's subtle, but she knows what she's doing. It's stonewalling. And I agreed with this. I agree with this wholeheartedly because I get it. We're mad with Shamia right now. I get it. We're disappointed in Shamia right now. But that doesn't change the fact that even in our disappointment of Shamia at this moment, that does not mean that Porsha don't dismiss her. It doesn't mean that Porsha talks to her like she's a child. And it doesn't take away from the fact that she is very dismissive to Shamia in her feelings. She did it quite a few times at this reunion. And that's probably why Shamia just be shutting the fuck up and don't say nothing, because she probably feels like she can't say shit because this goofy mouth motherfucker gonna sit up here and overtalk me the entire time, and I'm not gonna be able to get my words out. But that's where Shamia has to be a little bit more assertive about how she feels about things. And that is very easy for me to say, but sometimes you gotta be more assertive, than anything when you're dealing with somebody that is very dismissive. You feel what I'm saying? So yes, I don't care what nobody say. Porsha is still doing the exact thing that I was dragging her for the very from what we're talking about. And we're not talking about Shamia over talking nobody. We're talking about Shamia and Porsha. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about Shamia and Porsha, and we're talking about the way Porsha is in their friendship. Shamia is trying to express herself to Porsha, and Porsha overtalks. Porsha deep sighs. Porsha says this ain't the moment. She dismisses her every time. So let's not do the deflecting right now. We're talking about Shamia and Porsha. That's what we're talking about. Then Shamia says that she tried to make things right with Porsha after they had the conversation. She said around Lundy's death, she was trying to, talk to her or trying to be there for her and things like that. But then Porsha was like, girl, I was grieving. Okay, you were grieving, Porsha, but in the same breath, Phaedra was the person that divulged the information about Lundy passing to the group. Shamia didn't even know. So yeah, you're grieving and this is your time. But I would have felt some kind of way too had I not known that Lundy passed, and I've known Lundy way longer than Phaedra has. And she's the one that's giving out the she knows and I don't fucking know. Yeah, I would feel some type of way. The fuck? And just like I said, it showed exactly how she felt about you when Phaedra was the first to know about this. And you had no idea. And I know you had a relationship with Lundy. Phaedra ain't got one with her. So, yeah, exactly. Now, Shamia brings up the fact that Porsha became friends with Britt knowing what Britt said about her. Porsha said, you became friends with Kelly because you liked her. I didn't become friends with Britt because of such and such. Shamia says, this is not the same thing. And Kelly says that what Kelly said, Kelly says that your friendship with Britt comes across very calculated, and it does. We want to know how Porsha and Shamia can move forward. This is one of those situations where it really don't matter how long you've known somebody. Some friendships just have to come to a close. And this is a friendship, as sad as it may be, has to come to a close. It has to. It has to come to a close now. There's really no need for people to even try to push them to be friends anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they were childhood friends. They've been friends since they were like very, very young. Their mothers were friends. All of those great things. Like, they were friends forever. But what I've come to learn with friendships is that it really doesn't matter. It don't really matter if we've been friends for a long time or we got this long standing history. I feel like when you see that something is not gonna go right for you with this person, you're gonna have to let them go. And I think that Shamia and Porsha have been outgrown each other, and they just held on to the friendship because of the history. There are some things that can be fixed, right? But then there's some things that can't be fixed. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. They don't have to be friends. They don't need to be friends. So it is what it is. Nikki B, I get that you don't like Shamia, like you scream it to the top of your lungs. I get it. But it's not really about making her cousin's death be about her. All I was saying was Phaedra knew before her. So that showed where Shamia stood in Porsha's life at that point. So you cannot like Shamia all you want, but that's the facts and that's the truth. How the hell does Phaedra know before Shamia does? And Shamia been around that family since she was a kid, been knowing them folks, got relationships with them folks, and she don't even know that this girl passed. But Phaedra is the first to know. It ain't about being narcissistic and making it about her. It's just, it shows where I stand in your life now. Because I would usually be the one that would know first. I know these people. I have a relationship with these people too. So at the end of the day, that's the truth. It just shows where she stands. Is she was not as important, at this point in life anymore. It is what it is. So I don't see how that's like a hard concept to grasp. Like, it's not about it being about her. It's more so about, yeah, I didn't even know that your cousin passed away. Like, you know, Thank you for the $20 super chat. So, yeah. Anyway, but they don't have to be friends. They don't have to be friends. And I think that they shouldn't be. Too much has happened. Honestly, too much has happened. And I have told y'all how I feel. Too much has happened between them. To be excuse me. To be honest, after Porsha sat there and let Phaedra dog me on national TV and make up a lie about me, I wouldn't be talking to Porsha now. I would never talk to Porsha again. If I was Shamia, I never would have been talking to her. After that, it's one thing to do it in private, but on national TV, you allow this frog-looking heifer to sit here and make up lies about me while I'm about to get married on national TV. That alone was enough for me not to fuck with Porsha again. Never in life would I have fucked with Porsha again after that. She showed her hand then. And she chose Phaedra over you back then. You're not a priority to her. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? In the show that she didn't care about you and she didn't care about their relationship that y'all had or their friendship or their bond that y'all had. That showed right then. So I don't even understand why you was even so quick to jump on the bandwagon and be her friend again. I'm going to say this and then we're going to move on. One thing about me, y'all know I talk about my friendships all the time. And I've cut back on doing that. But I'm going to end this section off by saying this. One thing about me, I love my friends. I cherish my friends. I adore my friends. Like, I celebrate my friends. I do all that. I support my friends in so many different ways. And my thing is this. I am too good of a friend for anybody to betray me. So when you betray me in certain ways or you hurt me in different ways, it's either I'm going to forgive you for it or I'm going to cut your ass loose. And you do some public shit once you make it public, once you bring the friendship issues or your problems with me public, we're done. Because you want an audience and you want a show. So at this point, it's done between Porsha and Shamia. And I'm absolutely fine with that. Moving on. Let's continue. So Drew speaks on Ralph talking about her mother and father. I felt like Ralph was ruthless and disrespectful for even saying that her mother needed to watch her mouth. I don't understand why Ralph felt like her mama wasn't going to have nothing to say about how he's treating her daughter. You got to be a fucking idiot to think that she ain't going to say nothing about that. Are you crazy? Like, are you crazy? She gonna have her daughter's back. She saw what you have done to her already. So she's not gonna sit idly by and allow you to do her daughter some kind of way. You feel what I'm saying? Drew addresses the cooking video. I get that y'all were trying to show that y'all were trying to do well as a family and stuff like that. But Drew, I gotta be real with you. Y'all know how much I love Drew and I be defending Drew tooth and nail. But Drew, this is the reason why people be calling you a liar. Because at the end of the day, you can't sit up here and be in public doing interviews telling us how bad of a husband Ralph is, but then you're eating food off of his finger. Like, that's not, no. No. That wasn't a good look. I'm just saying, Drew. That wasn't a good look at all. Like, you kind of fucked yourself up and your credibility up just a little bit with that. She said that there was a woman in the basement and she was approached by the woman. Baby, I'm going to tell you just like this. If I'm with a nigga and I see a bitch, and when I say a bitch, I'm talking about another nigga, okay? Because the nigga is a bitch to me now because you fucking with my man, okay? But if I'm with a nigga and I see a bitch, trying me or being with my nigga and you approaching me, I'm like, first of all, at the end of the day, why you approaching me? That's supposed to be my man. What you approaching me for? Why you mad? Because that's my man. Now, you approaching me like you want to get your ass kicked. That's what you approaching me like. So if that's what you want, then we could do that too. But don't be approaching me about my man. Don't y'all know people do stuff like that, want to approach you about your man? Like, why are you approaching me about my man? I don't care if he's fucking you or not. I'll deal with that. I'll figure out if I'm going to curse him out and take him back like I'm Rashida, or I'm going to curse him out and kick him out my shit and break up with his ass. That's my choice. But don't you approach me about my man, bitch. Okay? Like, how you going to approach me about my man? You know what I'm saying? Girl, bye. The weirdest shit. It's the weirdest shit ever, honey. The weirdest. Let me see. So then Kelly says that she wished that her and Drew had connected. You didn't allow yourself to connect with Drew, though, Kelly. You was too busy trying to be shady. Like a lot of you hoes on this season, y'all weren't trying to get to know Drew. Y'all weren't even trying to give Drew the benefit of the doubt. Y'all weren't even trying to, relate to Drew or anything like that. Like both of y'all were dealing with the divorce, and y'all were dealing with like cowardly ass men in y'all divorces. So my thing is, why would you even treat her like that? And I felt like you jumped on the I hate Drew bandwagon, and now you looking crazy, and now you feeling stupid because it didn't work out for you. But this is what happens when you do shit that you don't have no business fucking doing. Okay? You did that to yourself. You could have gotten to know Drew, but you was too busy riding the coattails and, jumping in and doing all this weird ass shit that you really didn't even have to fucking do, to be honest. You didn't have to do none of it, but you chose to. So it's just like, girl, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I was Drew, I wouldn't even be, accepting shit from Kelly, because Kelly tried it. Honestly, Kelly had been trying it all season. Literally trying it all motherfucking season. So yeah, Drew, girl, it is what it is. They disrespected Drew too much for me this season, like for real. Too much. Let me see. So then Drew says that Kelly and Drew then went back and forth about the purchase. Drew did purchase something. She just didn't purchase nothing at the thing. You feel what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let me see. Drew says that she is not Michael Jordan's cousin for real. She was just joking. Then Shamia and Porsha and Drew, they go back and forth about the PJ comment, and basically saying that the whole, this is gonna pay for PJ's college fund. Shamia, you did bring that shit back to Porsha a certain way that it really wasn't. I don't really think that Drew meant any malice when she said that. I can see why somebody would take it that way or would cringe at that comment, but I don't necessarily think that that's what she meant. And you took it back to Porsha like that's what she was saying, but in all reality, she wasn't. Porsha and Drew discussed filming with Ralph, and at the end of the day, Porsha filmed with Ralph because she felt some type of way about Drew filming with Dennis. And the only difference about this whole thing was that Drew was actually working with Dennis. Porsha was being a petty bitch. And that's just it. She was being a petty ass bitch about this whole damn situation. Okay. Angela says that Shamia needs to let the lapdog thing go. She needs to stop referring to herself as the lapdog. And I agree. You don't take that label of you being a lapdog. I don't give a fuck what nobody's saying about you. If that's what they perceive you to be, then that's what they perceive you to be. But in the same breath, I would never take on that role of being a lapdog. I don't care if I'm making fun of it. I don't care about none of that shit. One thing about it, and two things for motherfucking certain. Ain't no way in the hell you gonna get me to refer to myself as a motherfucking lapdog. You got me bent if you ever think that's gonna happen. The fuck? I don't care what they're calling me. I'm not going to answer to that shit. I'm never going to answer to it. The fuck? I don't care what they saying. If you're going to be a friend to Porsha, be a friend to Porsha. And if that makes you look like a lapdog, then so be it. But I feel like the reason why the lapdog come and bother Shamia so bad is because she probably felt deep in her heart that she was being a do-girl at some point. And no, and sometimes when people call you something and you answer to it, that means that's an insecurity. And I felt like that was her own insecurity by answering to that. You don't have to do a lot of stuff to prove your loyalty to nobody. You feel what I'm saying? You don't have to do any of that. What you got to do is just be yourself and take up for your friend when you need to. It's a lot of things that my friends be going through. I don't have to jump in. They can handle that shit on their own. If they need me, I'm there. You feel what I'm saying? That's just that. Where are we? Drew says that she did flirt with Ty, but they were never lovers. She did say that she's only friends with Black. Drew says that Dennis is not her type of nigga, as Glorilla was saying. Okay. So then the man comes out. And Drew said that Dennis told her that he had a conversation with Porsha about this whole thing, but Porsha said the conversation was never had with her about them working together. And Dennis didn't deny it either. I guess Dennis really was like really playing both of them and making one think something else. But at the end of the day, I really feel like I still stand by the fact that Porsha did the absolute most when it came down to Drew working with Dennis. It was never that deep. It was never that serious. You didn't have to come at her and attack her all goddamn season over that shit. You didn't. You didn't. You didn't. You did not have to come at that girl like that. But then again, yes, you did. You had to come at her like that because you didn't have no storyline from the beginning. Because Simon was gone. What did Cynthia tell Phaedra? Apollo was your storyline. And now he's gone. And that was your thing. So because Simon was gone, you had to use Drew. You didn't really give a fuck about Drew working with Dennis. You needed a storyline. In the words of Jackie Christie, let me turn it around and do it like she would do it. In the words of Jackie Christie, you needed a moment. 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 Like that's what it gave. It gave you need a moment. That's what it gave. And you needed a moment all season. Anyway. Ralph then says that Drew said that Dennis tried to holler at her. I don't believe Drew said that. I don't believe half the shit that Ralph be saying anyway. And that's another thing that I don't like about this fan base as well, is because of the fact that y'all would sit up there and say that Drew lying, but then y'all will believe every word that this slime ball ass nigga would say. Like, come on now. I don't believe shit Ralph be saying. Drew says that Ralph is lying, and Dennis says that Porsha is off the market. So you know what that means. That means that he still want to hit that. And to be honest, I think that he still can. Porsha still wants to fuck Dennis. And to be honest, Dennis ain't bad to look at. You know, he just got that, got that dope boy belly on him, but he not really ugly. Dennis is not an ugly man. I've always thought that Dennis was kind of handsome, Like I said, he just got a dope boy belly. And Drew already said that Dennis wasn't her type of nigga. Like, he's not. So Porsha really didn't have nothing to worry about. Have you seen the niggas that Drew got? I mean, she used to date, wasn't it LeBron she used to talk to? She was talking to she was married to Ralph, and then you saw Ty, because y'all know that Ty fine as a motherfucker. Okay, so y'all already seen her caliber of men and women that she's had. So y'all should know that Dennis wasn't her type of nigga. Okay, period. So then Dennis starts talking about Shamia and Porsha, and he says that in this life he has learned to not get involved in the women's mess, but he says that Shamia is family to the both of them, and he really hopes that they are able to make things right. Then it said that he dated Britt long before Porsha, but then he said that Kelly said what he said in DMs, but she didn't relate everything else that was said. So then she said, "So what do you mean? I never talked on the phone with you. We may have talked once or twice on the phone." And then that's what Angela said, "That is talking on the phone." I'm like, right, like, girl, what the fuck? It's the plastic in your brain. Do you not remember what the fuck you said? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, girl? Like, if you talk to him once or twice on the phone, then you've talked to him on the phone. Like, do y'all remember the shit y'all be saying? It be crazy, girl. Motherfucking crazy. What else is going on? So then, but Kelly said that her and Dennis never messed around. Ralph says that the shit about the basement woman wasn't true. Lies, I believe it was. Then, not to mention, Ralph starts talking about the behind the scenes love that he had with Drew. Like, they talked about the whole video with them eating together for 4th of July. And he was saying that that's the type of shit that she do behind the camera. Like, she showed me love behind the camera and say that she loved me off camera. But then when she do her interviews and when she get on this show, that is when she starts switching up. And I gotta say it, Drew, it do look bad when we're watching you on your interviews and you're talking about this marriage and you're talking about how horrible of a person he is, and then we watch you on this show and you say the same thing, and then Ralph comes out with a video of you cooking in the kitchen with him and you eating the food with him and all this other shit. You feel, and all smiles. But just yesterday you did an interview talking about how much of a trifling piece of shit he is. It does make it look kind of crazy though, Drew. Not to say that Ralph is not trash, but I feel like it's not conducive for you and your image and whatever else you got going on when you say certain things and then you do something else. You feel what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But I'm not gonna hold it against you. But yeah. And no, it was not me in the basement. Drew and Ralph stay way too far for me. Like, they way up there and fucking on it. They way up there on the east side, baby. I'm on the south side. Ain't nobody got time to be driving way up there just to go to the basement. Ain't nobody got time to be going way up there for the basement, and I'm way out here on the south side. You bet he gonna have to come to me. In the words of Regina Bell, baby, come to me. That's what he gonna have to do. I ain't going way up there. Okay, and that's on period. Where we at? So then Ralph says that he hasn't apologized to Mother Superior, but he thinks that he will at some point. Cynthia then asks Ralph to be mindful of the things that he says because it's not going to be the right thing. It's not going to look right. It's not going to be right. So you have to be mindful of the things that you put out there. And I agree with Cynthia. They asked Charles about his relationship with Angela, and people be saying that he don't like Angela, he don't care for Angela. We all have said it. I've said it multiple times. He says that I'm not the lovey-dovey type I ain't finna put on for the camera. He says that everybody is speaking on him, and I don't even know who married, because where y'all husbands at? Blah, 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 blah. So he calls out Shamia for saying that she met him before. She said that she saw him at Neek's wedding. He said, you saw me. That don't mean that you met me. And I was like, ooh, not him calling out Shamia. Like, you know, I'm team Shamia, but girl, listen, okay? So then he gets on Phaedra, honey. Now, this is the part I was really here for. Now, when he get on Phaedra, after Phaedra sat up here and talked all this bullshit about how much she knows this man and all this other shit, like, I never knew that he was married. I never knew that he was married. I've hung out with Charles many times. I never knew that he was married. And then he said, girl, I don't know you. Like, what you talking about? Like, I'm not hiding shit. If you knew me, you would know that I'm married. Like, girl, I don't know you. So now Phaedra's sitting up here lying about knowing somebody else. It's giving Nene season 3. I mean, I seen you and I know your name is Phaedra, but I don't know you. I still don't know you. Okay, like, it's giving that. Okay, it's giving that. Like, Phaedra was stuttering. Phaedra could even get no read them damn rehearsed reads out quick enough for damn Charles, because Charles was on that ass. And I was here for Charles being on that ass. Okay. I was here for it. Phaedra looked dumb as a motherfucker trying to say that she know that man and don't even know him. Like, she really had us all believing that she knew him so well, like knew him to the point to where I didn't know he had a wife. I didn't know he was messing around with Angela. I didn't know that. I didn't even know she even existed. Like, did all that shit only for us to figure out and find out that you never knew this man from the beginning. That shit was crazy, okay? That shit was crazy, like for real, for real. Like, I couldn't even believe that. Like, not you saying you know this nigga and you really don't know him. Child. Let me see. Tamika's 30K. Watch how she tried to fit in with Charles' family. Child. Okay. And I can't wait to see Angela say, "You're not smart. You're not smart." Okay. Because you know Phaedra gonna do some low down dirty shit to try to fit in with somebody's family members and dig up dirt and come get on the show. Come get on the show. You know how she like to do that type of shit, child. Charles asked where their husbands at. He talked about how he dated Sheree for a few years. They went on trips together, all that stuff. Charles was basically giving, Angela her flowers for being there for him during the Madison Square Garden mess. Kelly wanted to know what Ralph told her husband, and he said that he really didn't say much about it. He was just talking about the basis of the relationship. Kelly then gives Ralph his flowers because she said that it's a very good thing that you have someone, although you're going through a divorce, you have a husband that really wants to still do and be there for his kids. She don't have it. And, she should be grateful for that. And, Drew was like, "Well, thank you for that." I'm like, she shouldn't be grateful for shit. Ralph ain't shit. But that was pretty much the end of the reunion, y'all. So I'm going to take out this time to give you guys my final assessment of every housewife this season and what I think that they did. I'm going to give them all a grade, right? So we're going to start this thing off with Porsha. Porsha came into this season when she signed off on it. We all thought that we was going to get like this wealth candy from her, because that's what a lot of us tuned into the Housewives of Atlanta for, is for that thing of opulence and wealth and things like that and demure and stuff, but we didn't get that. And I would have been fine with her, just talking about her divorce, but she only could talk about Simon but so much, so she really couldn't talk about the divorce, so she had to pretty much go in on Drew. And then her friendship with Shamia was also a storyline, but I don't really think that it did much for Porsha on this show. So I do think that the reunion was probably like something that kind of redeemed her this season, in a sense, because she did hold her own this reunion. Like, I ain't gotta like her ass, but she did hold her own for this reunion. Like, for real, she did. So I would give Porsha a C+ for the most part. Like, it wasn't a terrible performance, but I think that this reunion redeemed her, but she still got a ways to go. Britt was a disappointment. I felt like Britt could have been the next Kenya, like the younger version of Kenya, but I felt like she didn't step into that villain role and stand in that villain role. She wanted to be a villain, but then she wanted to play the victim at the same time. And I do feel like she wasn't really given a fair chance either, because the Kenya fans were already like against her already. So it was already like a bullseye on her neck anyway. So she really didn't have no bounds to really grow at the end of the day. So yeah, she didn't really do well to me. But by the end of the season, she had more people on her side by the end of the season. So instead of giving her a complete F, I'll give her a D+, because those last few episodes saved her from her getting an F altogether. But I'll give her a D, because those last few episodes saved her life just a tad bit. But no. But then again, she didn't come to the reunion. So maybe that'll drop her to a D minus because she didn't come to the reunion. You know, I don't know. I tried. Kelly. Kelly started off likable, but then she started off being a parrot for Britt and then a parrot for Shamia. And she showed that she didn't have a mind of her own. Now, the things that saved her was that she was open. She talked about her divorce. She talked about the things that she's going through with her husband, with her kids. Like she had personal story to draw from. So I would give Kelly a C minus. Her performance wasn't all bad, but she still got some shit to work on. So her cons was she didn't really have a presence of her own. She was Britt's sidekick, then became Shamia's sidekick. So she really didn't have much of a presence by herself, but the personal story is what kind of saves her for me because she was very open. So I give her a C minus. Shamia. No, Angela. I'll go with Angela next. Angela had a slow start. She was a slow burn. But when she fully got activated, she got activated. We saw personal story. We saw her, she had this unorthodox dynamic with her husband. We saw her go at it with the girls. She stood up for herself. She was a loyal friend. She stood 10 toes down on everything. And with that, I would give Angela an A. I think she performed the best out of everybody this season. She was the MVP of all the newbies. She was the best newbie to walk on this stage this season, and I would give her that. She deserves an A. Drew, in my opinion, she grew this season. Her divorce, her taking on all these girls by herself, her reads were better. She handled herself better. She had storylines out the ass, and she was everybody's storyline. Period. She was everybody's storyline. I think the only problem was that at the beginning of the season, Drew was kind of non-existent just a little bit, but towards the middle, we got more. But I'm gonna give Drew a B plus. I really feel like this season was her best one. Hands down was her best season. And she did not deserve to be at the end of that couch at all. Second seat or first, she should have been higher than that last seat of that couch. I'm just being real with y'all. Cynthia. We call Cynthia boring, but Cynthia did bring a lot to the show. In her when she had a peach, like her and Peter's relationship, her and Mike's relationship, her friendship with Nene. Like Cynthia always had something going on the show. We just felt like her personality was a little dull. But I think that Cynthia did an amazing job as a friend of this season. She did a great job, and I give her a B as a friend. She did a good job as a friend. She played her part really, really well. So I give her a B plus for being, probably the best friend of this show. Kenya. I really feel like Kenya really could have given this. I really feel like if Kenya was still around, she would have given us a lot this season. And I don't really think that it's fair to grade her or Phaedra because they wasn't there long enough. And Kenya got cut down a lot. Like a lot of her scenes got cut down. So we really didn't get to see anything from Kenya. But what we did see was her pushing the storylines along when she was there in the first 5 episodes. But it's kind of like, what can we grade her on? Her or Phaedra, because Phaedra was only there for 2 weeks. So what we doing? So I don't even think I'm going to grade Phaedra or Kenya, honestly. I don't think I'm going to grade them because we didn't really get no full season of neither one of them. So I don't really think that it's fair to grade them. Shamia. Girl. I love Shamia, y'all. I do. I love Shamia. Always have loved Shamia. Always rooted for Shamia. Still root for Shamia. I'm rooting for her to come back. She started off very strong. She did. She was the newbie that everybody loved at the beginning. She was likable. She had a bubbly personality. She had the wealth that we wanted to see. She had the family that was entertaining, and all the things that you need for a housewife. You feel what I'm saying? She had all that. But towards the middle of this season, she started to falter, falter. And it was disappointing to see. And by the time we got to the end, she just clicked all the way down, like all the way. And this reunion performance was the worst first seat that I ever seen. So I hate to say it, but Shamia got a D. She got a D. It's no way that you can start off that strong and then just falter so bad at the middle. And then your reunion couldn't even redeem you. You know what I mean? It didn't redeem you at all. So that's how I feel about Shamia. She got a D. And the season overall, I felt like this was probably their most entertaining season since since season 12. Season 15 was bad. Season 14 was okay. Season 13, I blame it on COVID. But season 12 was their last really, really good season. So I would give this season a C. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great either. And I'm going to tell you why I give them a C. It started off wrong. Because of the fact that the Kenya mess happened. After the Kenya mess happened, it kind of destroyed the rest of the season. And then they brought Phaedra at the very end. So a lot of the dynamics changed, but not for the good. It just felt incomplete to me. It didn't, but it was watchable and I could still do my reviews on it, but it just didn't flow the way that it needed to. It had the makings of a good season. It could have been much better than this. But when the Kenya stuff happened, it kind of went, But I still liked it even after Kenya left, but I could see where it fell back at. So I give this season a C. But I do think that it's way better than last season, and it's better than season 14. The reunion wasn't that bad to me. Overall, I give it a C. But that's about it. That's about it, y'all. Now, as I get ready to go, I know I told y'all I had an announcement at the end of this. So let me go ahead and get it to y'all before I go. So y'all know that I've been telling y'all about all the things that I've been working on and all of the things that I'm excited about, from my web reality series that we're doing and all this other stuff. But this is the biggest thing that I'm very excited about. And it is the release of my book. That's Why You're Lonely. And I've been telling y'all about this and teasing y'all about this for the longest. And the book is coming out on September the 23rd. It will be available on Amazon, Kindle Books, all of those great things. I really am very happy about this. I'm so excited about this. I cannot believe that this is finally happening for me. I am a person that has been writing since the age of 14. And I never would have thought that I would finally get a book out there where someone can buy it and someone can support it. And it's just amazing to me. And I really, really hope that everybody supports it and just I really hope that everybody supports it. That's all I really want. I want everybody to support it. It's an urban drama, and I'm very excited about this. And I've read this book in my members only, but it's not the same version now because it's edited now. So it's not the same as what it was when I read it. Like it's the same, but it's not anymore. Like, you know, we took some stuff out, we added some stuff, we made it more, you know, more professional bound. So it's like, I love it. Shout out to Sheridan, who is my publisher and has been with me every step of the way. I really appreciate her for even giving me a chance. And I appreciate you guys for all of the love and support that you've been giving me since I told y'all that this book was coming out. So the book comes out on the 23rd, y'all. And I'm very excited. I'm very hyped up about it, y'all. And I can't wait for y'all to read it. With that being said, y'all, wait. Scotty, can we pre-order? I will let you guys know when it's time for pre-orders. I'm going to let y'all know when it's time for pre-orders because, like, they're almost done with everything they need to be done with. But we got a release date now. It's a solid release date. Everything should be done by the top of August, and we will probably have a pre-order date by then. So I will definitely let y'all know when it's time for when it's a pre-order date. But before I go, I read this synopsis to y'all before, but I'm gonna read it to you guys again now that y'all see the book cover and everything. So the synopsis says, lights, camera, chaos. They look like best friends, but behind the designer shades and brunch reservations lie secrets that could ruin everything. From viral scandals to backstabbing besties, the women of That's Why You're Lonely are given a full-on reality TV drama, off camera and uncensored. Penned by Scotty by Nature TV, one of YouTube's most unfiltered reality TV reviewers, this explosive novel blends 15 years of hot takes, headline-worthy mess into a juicy, jaw-dropping tale. When fame fades and secrets surface, loyalty means nothing, but receipts mean everything. Think Love and Hip Hop meets Zayn with a twist of Basketball Wives. These ladies have money, enemies, and unfinished business. And in a city where clout is currency, nobody's safe. Welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to The Real Show. And that is the synopsis of this book. So I'm going to let y'all go, and I will talk to you guys later. Like I said, whenever I get a pre-order date, I will definitely let y'all know. With that being said, y'all, I'm out of here. Until the next video, I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, y'all.
Cause I know what I want. I guess I could pray to the man up above. Start a new path with unconditional love. I can build a new life out of this mess. Moving on to a place free from the stress. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. All of my life, and you know it hit the worst when it starts with the night. I'm the type of nigga shit that can speak for itself. See, I'm a bad little nigga with his heart as well. Say it best from the heart, so it beating is felt. Just a sense to see you smile, so my body can melt. With the cause is dealt, nigga, I was just wishing. Can I be the only bad bitch that you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like?